Hello everybody and welcome to parksbros. It's Drew here. Universal Parks and Resorts have been on fire lately, especially as of late with their newest opening, Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood, which I gotta say is an absolutely amazing addition to that park. But that's just the tip of the iceberg with what Universal has in the pipeline, as well as what they've added in the past couple of years alone. As someone who focuses a lot on roller coasters, I can tell you that at this point, we should be asking the question, is Universal going to become the new king of theme parks or the new king of coasters? In recent years, Universal Parks and Resorts have opened some of the most amazing roller coasters in the world and are soon looking to open many more astounding additions to that legacy. Looking back through this company's history, you can see some truly amazing roller coasters, especially with the brand new Islands of Adventure back in 1999. Dueling Dragons and the Incredible Hulk coaster truly shined in the Central Florida landscape, with the Incredible Hulk still holding its own 2 decades on, and it looks to keep going for many more, as it was recently retracked entirely, as well as given a touch-up in terms of its overall theming, which, in all honesty, made it even better. Sadly, the same cannot be said of Dueling Dragons, but that brings us to where we are now. This set of dueling coasters was truly phenomenal. Now, personally, I never got to check it out, but all I've ever heard from riders was that these two rides combined gave one of the best coaster experiences in all of Florida. When Hogsmeade of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter took over the area that it was in, it officially became Dragon Challenge, but eventually Universal Creative thought that they had a better idea in mind to fit better in that area. Obviously, as a coaster enthusiast who didn't get to check out those two rides, I was screaming and crying when it was announced that those two roller coasters would close, but its replacement was truly the beginning of a new era, especially in terms of Universal coasters. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure opened in June of 2019. This Intamin multi-launch roller coaster is perfect for the whole family and for the thrill seekers. If you're a big Harry Potter fan and don't want spoilers for this ride, skip to this timestamp right here. Have you done it yet? Okay, I think they're gone. This technological marvel of a roller coaster launches 7 times. Not only that, though, it goes forwards and backwards and even features multiple switch tracks and features a drop track where the track your train is on drops straight down, creating this unparalleled weightlessness. All of that being said, without mentioning the fact that it's nearly a mile long, has multiple different riding positions whether you're on the motorbike or the sidecar, and has some of the best theming on a roller coaster I've ever seen. Hagrid's was truly the start of a new era in terms of what roller coasters could be. With onboard audio, some really fantastic nighttime lighting, and a good handful of animatronics, it's easy to see why this ride has its rumored price tag of $300 million. With all that mentioned, it's also clear as day why it has such a long wait every single day of the year, even though it operates with more than a handful of trains. This was a pretty eye-opening change into what Universal had up its sleeve, and we got our first true glimpse at it a couple months later in August. August 1st of 2019 brought us the amazing announcement that Universal Orlando Resort would be adding a 4th park, its most ambitious addition to the resort, and with the announcement we got our first piece of concept art. This concept art, to say the least, left our eyes wide and our mouths open as we saw this unbelievable render for the first time. The closer and closer we looked, though, we could see quite a few roller coasters, especially in the bottom right-hand corner, including what looked to be a dueling coaster, maybe even the spiritual successor to Dueling Dragons. Now, in 2020, we all know what happened, but eventually later in that year, we saw change at Islands of Adventure yet again, and the announcement for another Intamin roller coaster going to the park. Jurassic World Velocicoaster really told us the full story of what Universal was thinking going forward. They added something for everyone with Hagrid's, but Velocicoaster was in the same vein as The Incredible Hulk, a pure thrill ride, but with a ton of theming. This roller coaster not only looked good and horrifying on paper, but experiencing it was something to behold. This double-launched Intamin roller coaster features 4 different inversions, including an Immelman loop, a dive loop, a zero-G stall, and of course, the infamous Mosasaurus roll to cap it all off. You, as a guest of Jurassic World, are going to go into the Velociraptor paddock. And of course, if that wasn't thrilling enough, you'd be riding a roller coaster while doing it. You'll race alongside the raptors, have them try and thwart you at every move, before escaping the paddock and taking on one of the best coasters in the world. A 70-mile-an-hour second launch brings you up to the top hat, which ever so proudly stands at the top of the lagoon. This is followed by many moments of weightlessness, positive G's pushing it back down into your seat, and the Mosasaurus roll making it feel like you're going to be flung into that water. Velocicoaster showed us that they weren't afraid to go back into the pure thrill. And it being the first coaster of that stature since Rip Ride Rocket at Universal Studios Florida was a great thing to see. That brings us to present day, but the future is always exciting, as Universal's Epic Universe is getting built up more and more every single second. Remember those roller coasters we were talking about just a little while ago? And the spiritual successor of Dueling Dragons? Well, you should look at it now. This what looks to be mock multi-launch coaster, or I guess I should say coasters, look to bring the insanity of Velocicoaster to new heights, and the dueling of Dueling Dragons flying back to the resort. Launches directly into top hats going straight up and then straight down look like something out of Roller Coaster Tycoon. Also thrown into the hat are moments where you'll be facing each other and going through a patented dueling zero-G roll thing that just looks nuts. My excitement for this ride as every track piece is put in is just growing, especially knowing how much I love mock launch coasters that I've already been able to ride. Manta in my home state of California down at SeaWorld San Diego is a great and fun time for the whole family, but it has a wild side, and since we know that's already being brought out in the new coasters, it'd be amazing to see that in the theming as well. Obviously, these two coasters are not the only roller coasters going to Universal's Epic Universe, as there's what looks to be a family Intamin launch coaster in the area rumored to be Burke from How to Train Your Dragon that's looking to have Hagrid's level theming and be a little less intense than that ride, as it soars and swoops all over this area, even going underneath the water level at some points. Of course, throw another mock rides creation into the back left corner of the park rumored to be the Monsters area, and that's already 4 potentially world-class roller coasters, with the Monsters coaster definitely looking to be the tamest of them. Harkening back to the very beginning of this video, we talked about Super Nintendo World, and it's been confirmed that that land is coming to Epic Universe.
We're going to add another Super Nintendo World to Universal Orlando Resort. Secret in history.
But with an expanded section featuring Donkey Kong, as Donkey Kong is getting his own minecart themed coaster that looks to change theming on coasters forever, where it makes you even feel like you're not on the track. It's truly Thrillville vibes, and I can't wait to see that, especially with the theming of Super Nintendo World encompassing it entirely. It's going to be a highlight of this park for sure. We've always known that Universal Creative has been able to come up with some insane roller coasters, going all the way back to the original opening of Islands of Adventure, through the Mummy coasters, Rip Ride Rocket, and even Battlestar Galactica at Universal Singapore. But we're on the precipice of something big, especially when these rides deliver at Epic Universe in just a couple years' time. And I know I'm getting greedy, especially with Super Nintendo World just opening, but I'd love to see a little bit of that coaster mania over in Florida rub off a little bit here at Universal Studios Hollywood. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed and watched all the way to the end, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And if you've watched all the way to the end, make sure to leave a comment featuring your favorite Universal ride. But as always, until next time, we'll see you on the next ride.